What's going on, YouTube? Happy New Year. Happy 2023. I apologize. I abandoned you guys. There were so many questions coming in on this channel about Skillbridge, about VA claims, about retirements and separations, and I was just in the middle of mine. I retired on the 1st of July of 2022 from the Air Force, and I had to find a job, move my family. I'm, a single dad, so finding the school for my kids, and the point is life was just super busy, and there just really wasn't time. I didn't even have an office space set up really yet to do this. So good news story is that it all worked out. I'm settled now. I really want to get back into this and help because I have continued to just learn things that I was not able to find anywhere as I went through the process, TRICARE versus VA healthcare, all those type of things. So what I want to do in this video is give you a little bit of an update on how the last 3 months of my time on active duty went. That's where I left off with the last video. I was about 100 days out from retirement. And then, how the first 6 months has gone on the other side out here in the civilian world, and the things that have happened, and the things I've learned about healthcare that I just, I was really ignorant to. And if you've been in the military for a long time, you probably just don't really know. So that because there's so much information to kind of cover here, what I'd like to do is have you leave a question in the comments, and then go back and look at other people's comments. And if it's something that you have a question on too, like that comment, and then, I can make another video next week based on like which questions are getting the most likes in the comments. And it's just an easy way for me to see what you have the most questions on. Okay, so one of the lessons learned, like kind of off the bat, was, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, it's probably worth saying again, some of you are probably going to do a Skillbridge local in the area where your base is. So nobody may tell you that you need to out process from that base before you start the Skillbridge. Nobody told me. I rolled right into my Skillbridge, and then when I'm trying to, secure employment and finish all my out processing, which is very cumbersome, at least from the Air Force perspective, I had to now, do the out processing. So get that all done, and then have a kind of a fresh start, not worried about any of the military stuff when you do your Skillbridge. That was a big lesson learned. I had my final out in May, and then I started my terminal leave on the 1st of June. I was terminal from basically that whole last month of active duty, and that worked out really well because in my case, I was moving to a new location. So it gave me time to just really focus on the move. Now, one of the biggest great pieces of news that I had, and I hope that this can be the same for most of you doing Skillbridge, but right there about the middle of the month of May, I did get word from my Skillbridge partner that I was going to be offered employment with them. So so that's great, right? That's what the program is for, but I know that it doesn't always work out that way. I admit it was a little stressful. I was having lots of anxiety because I was getting closer and closer to being out, and they weren't, forthcoming with whether or not there was going to be a job opportunity. It was like kind of, well, Nick, we don't know if there's going to be, an opportunity on your time frame, and that's kind of scary to be getting out and not knowing that there's something waiting for you on the other side. So I got a little bit pushier than I would normally be comfortable with, but I've since had mentors share with me that, like, yeah, dude, it's your job, it's your family's well-being. You have every right to, kind of poke them politely, but poke them on whether or not they're going to offer you employment. So, I moved and I had the job. I started in July on the 7th after the 4th of July holiday, and that was all great. Well, now the other big piece, and probably what most folks here on my channel have the most questions about, are the VA claims. So I did my BDD exactly 6 months out from the 1st of July, 1st of January, and I did receive my my VA claim, my BDD claim decision about the middle of August. It was about 6 weeks. I honestly thought that because I did the BDD so early that it would be a little bit quicker, because I had a lot of questions about healthcare. Do I My new company has healthcare. I have opportunities. I could, as a retiree or someone separated, you could do, TRICARE Prime or Select. If you're going to do that, do you do TRICARE Prime or TRICARE Select? I had a lot of questions. I could not find a lot of information. I am in a military town, so I was considering TRICARE Prime at the local Army installation here. But at the end of the day, I couldn't wait anymore for the VA's decision. I had to make sure I could take care of my kids if they had to go to the doctor. So I ended up just enrolling in the family plan for TRICARE Select. And it's just, man, what a great feeling to be able to pick your own doctors after, in my case, 20 years of just, going to the military clinics and just being, not that care, was always horrible. It certainly wasn't, but it's nice to have choices. So, but then I did get my VA decision, and I was eligible for some level of VA healthcare. So all of my, I had sleep apnea, right? So I have a CPAP machine. So those supplies I had to start paying for, right? Like the Air Force paid for that for so long, but now as a civilian, had to pay for that myself through my TRICARE. Well, I get all that transferred over to the VA. Once I called the VA to get an appointment, they were 3.5 months out, and that might just be where I live, but you got to know that you could wait a long time for that first initial appointment. That being said, after I had that appointment, they, my medications go through the VA now. It's all through the mail. They see me every 6 months to do blood work and update my medications, and my CPAP machine stuff is all through them now. So that did work out in the end. But there was a gap. I actually ended up not having any of my medications, and I'm talking about like blood pressure and cholesterol and stuff like that. But they told me that they have a contract with urgent care. Something else I learned that nobody told me, where it was like American Family Care urgent care, but they have a few other ones as well, where I could go and get my prescriptions renewed. Well, I tried that, and a lot of urgent cares don't have, I guess, a doctor that can write actual prescriptions. So I just had to run out and, hope it wasn't going to cause any, make anything worse than it already was medically for me. So got through all that, and it worked out. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes over here. Yeah, so I guess I went through that a little bit quickly. So I guess, I would just like to know, what your questions are. I know that some folks are eligible for dental care through the VA, even if you live a little bit further away from the local. Like for me, the nearest VA hospital is about 2 hours away. So they have this community care program where you actually can get basically a referral to be seen at a local place, closer to home. So that's, I think, a good thing in my opinion. But yeah, please, if you have questions at all, drop them in the comments. This morning, I went back and I tried to answer all of the questions in the comments from the last couple of months. I'm back now, barring a major life event or something. I'm really hoping to be able to put out content. I have a grown-up office space here now, a decent camera, a computer that can actually make these videos and not crash all the time. Grown-up microphone and stuff. So anyway, happy to be here. Did the retirement beard for a little while, though I think I'm going to clean that up this weekend. And yeah, hey. Hope it's going well for you, and thank you all for your service and what you do for our country.